How's it going, guys? Connor from Running Warehouse. Today I'm here with Zane Robertson. He is an ASICS pro athlete, one of the top marathoners in the world, and he's been helping with the development of a very exciting shoe from ASICS, the new ASICS MetaSpeed Sky. Now, Zane, it's an honor to have you with us. There's a lot I want to talk about, especially the new MetaSpeed Sky, but before we dive into the shoes, I want to take a step back and talk about your journey to get from your beginning to where you are today. So, obviously, at age 17, you and your brother moved from New Zealand, moved out of your house, went across the world to Kenya to train full-time with the Kenyans. Can you talk a little bit about that journey, and do you feel like that transition really helped play a role in your success that you're seeing today?
Yeah, definitely it did. I think the mindset that we have now and the approach to racing and everything, it came from a lot of hard work, a lot of suffering, I would say a lot of hardship that the Kenyans do face. But the biggest one is no backup plan and no option, because if we weren't successful with running, what would we do? We didn't really have something else to fall back on. And that's kind of what makes the Kenyans drive to train so hard, and their work ethic. It completely changes their mindset. So yeah, my brother and I, we really adapted over here, and I'd say we wouldn't be the same athletes today without that change of what we did back then.
Now, you talk a little bit about that struggle. Can you talk about some of your early years in Kenya and kind of the living conditions that you were dealing with?
Oh yeah, early on we spent a lot of time together in a single room. It's basically how rooms are here. Concrete 4x4 room, kind of like prison. We shared a mattress about this thin, where on the concrete you could feel it through your hips, get dead legs at night. We'd top and tail in a sleeping bag that we'd brung from New Zealand, and yeah, I mean, we ate bread and jam for a month because we were out in the wild, but basically didn't have much else. We were cooking on a stone fire. We basically 3 stones and then firewood. We'd collect firewood from the forest with a machete or an axe. We'd drink from a water hole. A lot of adventures like that. We'd shower in a field. Basically everything you can imagine. Hand washing is normal. We'd wash all our clothes with hands because there's no washing machines. All the luxuries overseas where people appreciate everything, underappreciate it. Over here it's like, it's a blessing to have something like that now. So those were the early years, a lot of struggles.
So obviously those struggles helped with the success that you're seeing today, and you've obviously seen some success over the years in distance running, but was there ever a time where you made a big breakthrough and you realized that you went from a good runner to being able to compete with some of the best athletes in the world?
Definitely. I mean, yeah, all those struggles are a blessing, and the time when I saw that breakthrough was when I went from being a 3:41 runner to being a 3:36 runner, immediately one race. And I thought from there, like, okay, now I'm really doing something. And I saw that breakthrough one more time. I made my first world championship basically team in Moscow. I made the final and I felt like a scared little kid walking out to the final. I wasn't ready to compete for even a top 3. I wasn't ready for a top 5. I was scared. I was running scared. Less than a year later, because of that experience, I felt a mental confidence breakthrough. I went to the World Indoor Championships, and in the heats I ran from the front. I said, okay, I'm going to make this final. And when I made the final, I said, okay, today I'm gonna medal. And I walked out to the final, not scared anymore, and that was a big breakthrough for me mentally. I didn't medal that day, but I did use that same approach months later in the Commonwealth Games 5,000 final, and I got my medal. And then I got another one later on, the Continental Cup. So I'd say that was those are the two big breakthroughs mentally.
Now, training alongside some of the top Kenyans in the world, does that help you being able to train with the best, that once you get to the starting line on race day, feel confident that you know that you can compete?
Yeah, I mean, just training around the guys and living out here, I do everything they do. I understand how it works. I know everyone is beatable on a certain day, and I try not to think about the competition with them. I try to think about what I've done myself and how I've prepared, and if I've done everything right, then it's just time to go and put it to use in the race. I don't see the difference between Kenyans and myself, so it's like I'd feel strange on the start line without a Kenyan there. Yeah, it's completely normal to me, where other people might stand on the start line and be already running for second place, if a Kenyan is there.
Perfect. Now, let's shift the discussion a little bit more towards shoes. I know you've played a big role in helping create the ASICS MetaSpeed Sky, and in recent years, we've seen this shift in marathon racing shoes from ultra lightweight, really low to the ground, kind of your traditional racing flats, to more built up, highly responsive carbon-plated racers. Now, how much do you think of an impact do these new next generation shoes play on elite marathon racing? Huge role. Shoe innovation now, as you've seen with other brands, and how they took off, and marathon times just started dropping. The longer your legs can survive, and in a good way, the faster you'll go for longer. So they've started to decide to make shoes more bouncy and better for the road, impact basically, better for the impact, and rather than just it's all about weight. Huge innovation now from ASICS, and what's coming in the future as well is just amazing. I'm really excited to be on the team designing shoes and working together with ASICS. Well, you talk about some of the shoes coming, and right now the latest shoes, the ASICS MetaSpeed Sky and MetaSpeed Edge, are out, and they're looking like amazing shoes. Can you talk a little bit more about the testing process and what specifically you were looking for in a carbon-plated racer?
I'm lucky enough to have run with all the carbon-plated shoes out there before I joined ASICS, so I have a big insight to how I approach developing it. And I always compare to the best shoes I've worn before. So I always wanted to make a shoe that's better than the shoes that I've worn before. And I wanted soft enough foam, responsive enough foam that you feel like you are bouncing off the tarmac. And I wanted the carbon plate not really to feel it on your foot, to feel a little bit like the shoe is stiff, to help your help your tendons and everything, or help your foot roll forward. But it was all about the foam for me. I felt like the foam needed to have a lot of response off the ground, and the combination of that, the way we've designed it, is exactly what I wanted.
Now, both of these shoes, MetaSpeed Sky and MetaSpeed Edge, were built specifically to handle the varying stride lengths of different runners, the various gait cycles of runners. Which shoe did you feel fit your own personal needs the best for race day?
The MetaSpeed Sky, I feel it's more for a 60 kg runner like myself, if you're 60 kgs, if you're 58 kgs, 63, I feel like the heavier you are, the more impact you'll have on the ground for a longer time. So you need to save your legs, and you need to use that impact to get response from the ground, rather than use that impact to feel your legs getting sore. So for me, it was the MetaSpeed Sky.
Now, we talk a lot about race day shoes, but let's go a little bit more into your full lineup. I know a lot of people are interested in not just what you wear on race day, but also what you're bringing out on workout day and just for your daily training. Can you kind of go through your full ASICS shoe lineup and let the people know what every shoe is in your training cycle?
Yeah, okay. Well, in the last build-up, I've been using the Dynablast for most of my moderate to threshold tempo running in the morning. I've been using the Gel Cumulus for the evening, easy running or forest long running. I've been using in the gym. I've been using some prototypes for all the gym work, just walking around everything. I like the Gel Nimbus too. I really like that for just long running, if it's easy long running. I was using the prototypes of the MetaSpeed Sky for all my high speed work because I had multiple different shoes to trial and error and give feedback on. So that's my current lineup of shoes, and I'm receiving new shipment of shoes soon, so that could all change. I'm always willing to try new things.
You talk about testing out a lot of prototypes. How many prototypes did you actually run in, and how much did the shoe change from the early stages to the final production version?
Well, from the earliest stage that I saw, it's uncomparable. The stack height, the material used, the responsiveness of the foam, it's really taken flight. It's changed completely. So happy it did, because originally the shoe, the way it was, I was not sure that I wanted to be part of the team. And then I thought, well, this is an opportunity for me to help and also change something, like try to be the change. And oh, wow, I'm happy the shoe came out the way it did, that's for sure.
Now you talk about the responsiveness in the midsole compound, and that is obviously a big factor for performance on race day, but can you also talk about the stack height and how important that is to you, and what range you're looking for the marathon day?
Yeah, I think the stack height just means more foam, and I think the more foam for even, a 60 kg runner like myself, I talk like that's heavy, but that's heavy for the elite marathoners because, you know, a lot of the Kenyans have light bone density or a lot slimmer, so they're a lot lighter. But yeah, the heavier you are, you need a high stack shoe. Saves your legs for longer and gives more response from the impact. Then the heavier you are, the more impact you'll have on the ground. So that responsiveness of the foam should bounce you or increase your stride, should leave your hang time more in the air, and the carbon plate will be there as well to roll you forward.
Now we talk about these carbon plated racers specifically for performance on race day, but are these shoes that you use for workout day, and how much has that affected both performance on workout day and recovery?
I think it really helped me on workout day. Some days I used another pair and I found that the workout or even the feeling wasn't so good. So it did affect me a lot in a lot of workouts. I suffered sometimes a lot, but while the world was in a state of shock with COVID and everything, I thought, why not put my body to the test as well and use this opportunity to create something great. So yeah, there were good days, bad days. Some days the shoe, when I really loved it, it saved my legs completely, and the recovery time was almost the next day. I felt like I could work out again. So the final version of the shoe, once we had that, workouts went great every time, and I felt good the next day. I felt even good on the evening run. So recovery time was saved, that's for sure.
Well, Zane, it was great to talk with you. Great to hear your thoughts on the latest shoes, get some behind the scenes look at the testing process. I'm excited to see more of you, and I know we'll see you wearing the ASICS MetaSpeed Sky in races to come in the future. Now, for the people at home, if you're looking to try on the same shoe as Zane Robertson, it's available now here at Running Warehouse.